Now, the International Atomic Energy Agency says 2 Iranian centrifuge production facilities have been hit in Karaj and at the Tehran Research Center. Both sites were previously monitored and verified by the IAEA. Some of the equipment at Karaj was reportedly moved 3 years ago. Joining us here in the studio is our correspondent, Dorsa Jabbari. Dorsa, as we're talking with you, we're getting, of course, reports of Israel saying they're hitting new targets in Tehran, hitting Karaj, that's just west of Tehran, what I remember. You've been to some of these nuclear sites, whether it's the Tehran Research Center in particular, I think. How key are these sites in Iran's nuclear program as a whole?
Well, Sammy, the Tehran nuclear research reactor is one that is used for exactly the title, as it says, is research. They do a lot of cancer research and related to how nuclear technology can help in particularly cancer research. I can tell you that this facility, one of the buildings that they've targeted and the one that we were given rare access to in 2019 is a facility that is home to a very small reactor that is kept deep in the water, and the core of it is below water, as you can see those images. The building is within a facility, a compound that is also home to Iran's Atomic Energy Organization. And it is in the Amirabad neighborhood of Tehran, a very densely civilian area of the city. This facility is the first nuclear facility Iran built.
I think actually, as you're talking, by the way, we're running pictures here, exclusive pictures from your visit back in 2019 when you went to that site, that just so viewers are aware of what, but continued also.
Yeah, this facility was actually commissioned during the Shah's time in the 50s, and it was the Americans, interestingly enough, that built it. They had an agreement with Iran at that time in the government, and it was completed and became operational in 1967. I remember seeing certain labels on the different parts within the building, and that had American companies' labels.
Logos of
yes.
Interesting how history changes, doesn't it? Well, any of these sites which they're hitting now, Karaj, the Tehran Research Center, did they have their equipment removed or deactivated before Israel started bombing? Do we know what the radiation risk is?
Well, that's the big question everybody's been asking over the past few days. And I've spoken to some former IAEA officials who told me that most likely what is protocol in these situations when there's conflict around nuclear sites, the government usually shuts down first the reactor and stops operations in the nuclear facility. And then based on the threat levels, they will decide whether or not to move any material out of harm's way. But in this case, we know that Israel launched a surprise attack on Iran. And also, it's not clear as to where Iran would be able to move any of the sensitive material, given that Israel is continuing to attack various infrastructures and facilities that are all related to Iran's nuclear program. But the immediate threat of radiation is very low, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, who also revealed today, we learned about this attack through the agency because Iran is obliged under its agreements with the nuclear watchdog to keep in touch with them during this period to let them know what's been hit and exactly what's been targeted and what is the extent of the damage. So the IAEA, who also, by the way, has permanent inspectors living in Iran, could assess the threat level and the situation and make the necessary recommendations.
Dorsa, do we know, just on that point you mentioned, do we know what the extent of the damage is at some of these nuclear sites?
We are basing our information on satellite imagery and what we're being told by the Israelis.
Can that give you the full picture for underground facility?
No,
briefly? I'm sorry.
No, absolutely not, because the part of Natanz nuclear facility and the Fordow nuclear facility are completely underground, so we have no idea the extent of the damage, and we're just relying on the information that is coming from both sides, which is to be questioned.
All right, well, let's hope the IAEA's got it right. It's reading right on this one. Thanks so much, Dorsa Jabbari, our correspondent who's covered these nuclear facilities and installations extensively over the years. Good to have you with us here.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.